Hey, what's up guys? Griggzy here, and this is another episode of my Redstone tutorial series. Now today, we have, well, not much to do. We've got most of our components down. I haven't done any work on the GPU yet. I'm going to probably add in a few more of these lines, maybe up to about here, and hook them all up. But I probably won't be doing that in this episode because there's no point me showing you how to do that because you already know how to do this. So I'll do this off camera at some point. I think we should kind of focus on one thing today, and that is left and right shift. If we just come over here, this is what I'm referring to if I say left and right shift. Very simple, very easy. So I think a good thing to kind of try and get down is left and right shift finally. So if we want to add in the actual modules for left and right shift themselves, we need to pick spots along our bus to actually do that. Now you're going to need enough space for a full triangle section like this. So a space like here would be quite good. And if you need to, you can go ahead and extend your buses out a little ways as well. You know, I always forget to put my phone on silent before the start of an episode, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I've just extended the bus out, literally probably about 5 blocks. And I'll also do that to our top black bus as well. Now, yours might already be longer than mine, just from deciding to make it longer than mine is. So that'll be completely fine, and you won't have to extend it, obviously. But any of you that have only built it as long as you need it for what we have so far, then you'll probably need to extend yours a tiny little bit. Now bear in mind we are using hardly any space, so you're not going to need to extend it out this far, for example. Now I've got a space here where I haven't put anything in between the second memory cell input and the third input, as in, well, their output in theory. Their output from the memory cell and input into the main cell is what this bus is. So between them two buses I have a lot of space here. Now from this section here, I'm probably going to lead off all of my bits like that. Now what right shift and left shift entitle is moving every bit either one to the left or one to the right. So first of all we need to decide whether or not this is going to be a left shift or a right shift. Now I'm going to think about this for a minute and quickly decide and see which one I think would be the better one to do. So I'm just building out a square edge for me to visualize this quickly. Now there's always one bit that doesn't matter. So imagine this bit was on. Let me show you. If I was to power here, that bit would turn on. Imagine it was a left shift. This one would move to this line here. So this line would come on like that. But this line would move over and would get cancelled out. So I think what we'll do is we will make left shift first, and that means that this bit here is this one here, and this one will not be needed. So you're only actually taking 7 digits, and you need to take them down here and coordinate them in here. Okay, so if we want to get down to business, we're going to have to start by completing this along here like so. Just like this, and remember we're not using this torch here because this is our left shift. Now we need to go ahead and take these down, and you know how you do that. We crisscross. Actually, I'm going to scrap that quickly, and we should bring it out one more like this to give ourselves some more room down here. And as soon as you've done that, that's when we're going to start to take the signal down in steps, as we've done multiple times along the course of our computer that we've made here, and also along the backs of our memory cells, and obviously some other places, but that's just a few examples. Now we're going to carry on doing this, and we're going to go down quite a few steps, and then it'll involve turning around the bits at the bottom and travelling them back into here. Now we do need to go down 5 steps, so this will be 4 and this will be 5, and the 5th one is too long at the bottom. Okay, so now you have your stairs like that. You want to just crisscross these up. Nice and simple like that. Okay, so we've done that over there, and this is the point where we start getting tested for room. Now if you see here, we need to have a 2 by our 7 area that is crisscrossed so that we can signal inhibit it from down here. And this creates kind of a bunch of problems that we don't really want, and it means everything around here gets quite compacted. Believe it or not, it actually took me quite a while to create this and finish this off in the way that it is, so it's not the neatest of designs, but I think we can go ahead and just roll with this one and just call it a day there. It could definitely be done better, and on the advanced ALU tutorials that I'm going to do after this set of tutorials and after this computer's finished, this computer, then obviously I will revisit this type of design and redo it. So really you don't have to worry now, because although this may be inefficient, you need to remember that this part of the computer and the main 2 buses, the black and the white, are one of the most inefficient parts of the whole computer anyway. So it's not as if it really matters too much. I think maybe one problem, if we go back and kind of evaluate what we've done so far, I would say that there's clearly problems, okay? Now, apart from the obvious that the buses are very slow, you don't really have to point that out. But apart from that, there's also the idea that we could have done things a bit more compact if we were to kind of fit in these triangles next to each other better, if you get what I mean. But really that doesn't matter in itself. This computer is you learning the concepts of creating an ALU, because if you was actually going to build a really good efficient one, you wouldn't take on any of these designs really. And saying that, this adder design is absolutely huge. So I mean, maybe in the last episode or 2 we can kind of go back and evaluate some things, and they'll kind of be talking episodes and me telling you loads of things about this computer, and you know, I could tell you loads of stuff about computers, what's coming up in the next tutorial if you want to go ahead and watch it, and all sorts like that. For now, let's try and get this done though. And I've just realised that we've got a bit of a problem. Now, where you have repeaters first, you need double repeaters, and where you have dust, you need double dust. Now, if you put another block on the end of the dust like that, and you lead it into a repeater, now we can go ahead and put all of these into blocks like this in a form of a zigzag. This is the point where everything gets a little bit confused and stuff like that, so you have to kind of watch carefully for this. You make a zigzag up on the top, and then you make a zigzag underneath the same, and then you should be able to carry your power through here like this. So basically you externalize the power out to here, because this you could kind of say is internalized and it's in the middle, and then all of a sudden we put the signal out here and then we take it back in from here. So yeah, you guessed it, this is where we're going to be getting our signal from right here. Now you have to put repeaters on all of these blocks facing this way, so you do have to knock out these blocks. And once you have them in place, you can go ahead and put in your blocks again. And your power should get carried through once you redust it. There it is. Now you have to create an inhibitor like this. The only thing is, our one is going to be 7 long instead of 8 long. Also, whoa. Jesus. I never knew that wasn't there. That's a fine example of why you need to extensively test all of the things that you do, and you need to do it as you go along. Don't just build something huge and then decide to test it all at once. You should go through and test each bit by bit. The only thing is, we don't really use memory cell 3 that much, and that's probably why there was a mistake there that I didn't pick up on. Now, in the next 2 blocks here, that's going to be where we build our inhibitor. So you need to put down more repeaters, and you may have to knock out these blocks again. Also, I've noticed something recently. My auto day isn't switched on. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that on now. Morning. If you want any tutorials on how to do the day and night thing, this is quite cool actually. They kind of conflict each other if you switch both of them on. So this is eternal day and this is eternal night. If you want any tutorials on that, just let me know. I think there is already a tutorial on it, but I may be wrong. I know that my Redstone series has quite a few of these builds in them. So if you see anything laying around that you like the look of, you can go ahead and check out the Redstone tutorial series, because it's quite likely that the build that you're seeing is going to be in there somewhere. I never did finish this red carpet. Back to business. Knock out them back blocks again if you need, and then you just plop down the redstone like that. Now obviously this is where our torch is going to be, so you want to put these in. You may as well put them in now. Now the line for these is going to be facing inwards, so you need to put your blocks here. We've done this so many times, so this should be second nature. And then you put in your redstone. And if you wish, you can put a button on it. It will eventually be linked up to the control panel, so you don't really have to worry about putting a button in. Okay, so now we put it into a line of blocks. Let me just check that, because I'm not completely sure if you have to do that or not. Okay, so it turns out it doesn't actually matter if you have the row of blocks or not. What I'll do is show you this version now, and then I'll put the blocks back in and you can decide which one you want. So this is what it looks like without the blocks, the row of blocks along here. And this is what it looks like with the row of blocks. So you can go ahead and choose which one you want now, and I'll show you how to build first of all the one with blocks, and then for you guys that want it without blocks, I'll edit the one over there and show you how to do that too. Okay, so now we have a little bit of work to do on this section here. We need to raise this up like that and carry it across here and take it to the according bits. Now there's a very specific way that we have to do that in order to make sure that we have the right level. So first of all, we do need to do this step up like that, and there's also a couple of other precautions that we need to take into account, and that is that these need to be zigzagged. Now they need to be zigzagged for one specific reason, and that is because if they wasn't, then we wouldn't be able to get our crisscross pattern. Okay, so this bit here is moving to the left one, which means it has to go to this one right here. So if we go ahead and take this one out, the dust will be here, repeater can go there, and the torch can go there. Perfect. The next one is going here, so if we dust that, put a repeater there, and now if you look, we need double repeaters like that in order to take it up. So double repeaters, double repeaters, repeater, double repeaters, repeater. And now we need to just take these out one by one, crisscrossing them as we go. and taking them to their according bits. Right, so we're just forming our triangle. Any second now and this one will be done. And then the last one. And remember, because this is a left shift, we won't have one for the very end bit. And then we put the torch in like that. So if we want to just try and test this, I'm going to go ahead and put in a 1. Now if we follow the 1, it will go down our black bus all the way down here. It will come up here, split off to go to the memory cell, and also split off to go into our swap around. And it will come down here, go down here, come down here, like this, go through here, and then we'll go to the end of the bit. Now, because this one is slightly different, this design is slightly different to the one over there, and we actually have torches here instead of just a redstone, we do need to invert this. So the way in which we could do that is by plain and simple inverting it down onto this block here. So what we could do is put redstone on these blocks, torches on the side of them, and then these will go down here like this and power the according lines. It will mean that we have to double repeater though, which is a shame, because that means some lines have a lot of repeaters. If you want to try and equalize the delay to make them have 2 repeaters per, then I would suggest doing that. Okay, so I've edited mine a bit, and I have 2 repeaters per line. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, etc. And also I've made sure that I didn't block the path of these redstone dust there. So as you can see, we now have a fully working piece of equipment. Okay, so after we've made our little change with the torches along here, that should be this whole thing done. However, if you remember here last time, we do have to run this along underneath here to reach here. So I'll do that now. So if you want to add in this, a quick torch leading over to here. So if you want to look at that, lead a torch coming out of our prohibitor across and up into our reset line, and that will reach to that repeater and go along there. So if we just watch this quickly, let's have one test quickly. It'll be very easy, a debug. If we put a 1 in, we should be able to press this button and it would move the bit along, and I know that will work, but I'm not sure if the erase function will work quite properly yet. We'll have a... Right, okay, so it worked. So we moved from a 1 over to a 2. And that means if we put a 2 and a 16 in, it should move over to a 4 and a 32. So I'm just pressing it once more. Four 32. Perfect. Right, so that's that done. It works. And the next episode will be exactly the same, but we will be swapping around the bits the other way round. Instead of going left, we'll be going right. So I'm going to end the episode here, guys. Thanks ever so much for watching. Likes, comments and subscribes are all very much appreciated. And if you have any ideas or complaints, go ahead and drop them into the comments, because I always read them. And like I said earlier, if you see any of these laying around the show while you're watching the Redstone tutorials, feel free to go see if they have a video on them. I've got a full playlist of all my Redstone tutorials, but if not, you can go ahead and drop a comment requesting for tutorials of any of these things as well. My name's Griggzy, and I will see you in the next episode, guys. Goodbye.